So this is our Pilates mat essentials for COVID shutdown maintenance. We're going to start with a standing warm-up. I'm going to stand behind here so you can see me in the full frame. And we're going to do a little standing warm-up. So bring your legs parallel to one another, about a fist apart between your ankle bones. Grow tall into that good neutral spine and pelvis. Elongate the back spine. Think of the pelvis in that neutral with the two front pelvic bones, pubic bone in that triangle right here in the front level. So we don't go back like a duck walk here, no duck tail sticking out, and also not a tuck. So especially be careful not to tuck. All right, and then engage those low abdominals. Lift your side waist abdominals from the hip bones up. Just lift a little. And that back pant waist lifted without disturbing the pelvis. A couple of breaths with the arms. Inhale out and up with the arms, but check shoulders down. Press out, exhale. Breathe deeply in through the nose, out through parted lips. Two more. Inhale, exhale. Next one, inhale, stay up. Reach from your side waist and alternate one. Exhale, two. 3, exhale, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, press out and down shoulder circles and forward and back and down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now bring your heels together and toes on a diagonal in your Pilates V, little V position. Zip up your inner legs, engage abdominals, keep that neutral spine and pelvis lengthening. And now interlace the fingers behind the head, elbows side diagonal. Shrug the shoulders up, inhale. Glide the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Keep the shoulders down in the head position perfectly quiet as you open the elbows side, getting that little stretch. And then release the elbows to diagonal. Inhale, shrug up. Glide the shoulder blades down, exhale. Press a little bit back. And release. Let's do that again. Inhale, shrug. Glide the shoulder blades down, widening the collarbone across the front. And press gently back. And release, arms down. Now, we're going to just bring the legs back to parallel. Bring your feet all the way together. I'm going to step up so you can see. We want to make sure the inside borders are together. And you're going to do a small bend of the knees, sliding your spine in neutral down an imaginary wall that you're up against, and then stretch the legs upward. Bend, inhale, press up, exhale. Use the muscles of your legs to do the work, not your knee joint. Your knee does bend, but it's not about the knee joint. It's about the muscles in the legs. Make sure your knees go directly over the toes, not out bowing, and not collapsing. You're lifting through the inside muscles even though they're together. And stretch. Two more. Inhale, slide down your wall. Exhale, keep those heels planted. Inhale. And exhale, stay nice and tall. Lift the right heel pressing over the foot so you get just a stretch through the ball of the foot, metatarsal area, and back down. Lift and down. And as you do this, knee over second toe. Don't bow out or in. And down. And careful the ankle doesn't bow out. Keep it lined up and down. And one more. And change. Heel, press through the ball of the foot. Press down. Do not sink into your torso here. Keep that lift and lengthen. And down. Two more. Press ball of the foot. Knee over second toe and down. Straighten the knee every time your heel goes down. And stretch. Good. Now, for this next one, we're going to do a hand warm-up, hand wrist. I'm going to sit so you can see better. You can do it either standing or sitting. If you sit, you might want to use a sitting pad so you can sit comfortably with your legs crossed. Get on your sitting bones if you're sitting, and grow tall. We're still working our posture muscles even though we're seated. Be careful you don't go into a slump as we do the work. Now, we're going to take the arms out, and we're just going to wiggle the fingers a little. Just wiggle, wiggle, and then do a little pull of the fingers in, press them out, but real quick. Press, 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 press. Good. Just getting those fingers going. Now put your hands together, rub, 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 rub. Good. Now lotion those hands. Lotion, lotion. All directions, yeah. Now, after you do that, we're going to take the arms out And turn the palms up and elbows tuck at your waist. Now we're going to do a finger by finger. Start with your little finger, pull it towards your palm, then your next finger, then the next, then your pointer finger, thumb last. Then reverse it, thumb first, pointer finger, middle finger, next finger, and little finger last. Okay, so we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to articulate through there. And again, we're going to do one more set. Little finger starts, thumb starts in reverse. Shake it out a little, rub it out a little. Now, we're going to do this little roll through. You're going to start with your arms here, bent elbows. Now you're going to go through the elbow to the wrist, to the fingers, palms to the fingers extend, and then bring it in, relaxing at the wrist. I'm going to turn side so you can see that. So you're going to go elbow, wrist, palm, fingers. Elbow, wrist, palms, fingers. Elbow, wrist, palms, then fingers. Now a little quicker. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Keep breathing. Tall posture. 5, and 6, and 7. One more, and 8. To the side, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Shake it out. Now, make a fist and release. Fist, released. Fist, release. Fist, spread. Fist, spread. Fist. So you're gripping, extending. Gripping, extending. Get that posture as you focus through your torso as you work. 2 more. And last 1, shake it out a little. Now you're going to take the arms out, flex the wrists, arms straight. Tiny circle forward. 1, 2, get your posture. 3, 4, reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now fingers down, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interlace and press down and back. Get a little stretch there. Come around, curve as you push away. Just get a little back stretch there and release it up. All right, now we're going to go back to standing for one more stretch here before we get going here. Bring your feet together, parallel. Now, good posture, good neutral position of the torso. Now you're going to step back with your right foot, parallel, don't turn out. And then as you step back, put the heel down, straighten the back knee, bend the front knee. You might already feel quite a bit of stretch here. But try to lift your front abdominals and bring your pelvis forward a little bit. Try not to go into your low back, so lift that back area here. Reach your arms forward. Make sure you're wide enough here that your knee isn't going way forward over your toe. It's lined up with your toe, but you don't want to go so far forward that it's past your toes here. All right, back heel stays down. Now reach your arms up and lift your abdominals up. Then lift your chest and just look a little bit up, but don't drop your head back. Press forward a little more in your front pelvis and hold for an inhale, exhale, and bring the feet together, and we'll do the other side. Now, if you're having trouble with balance, you can hold on with one hand. I'll show you that here. You step back first. Now, you can hold on to the back of a chair or a counter to get yourself set up. All right, straighten that back knee, heel down on the back. You'll feel maybe a calf stretch back there. Now press the hip forward and lift your abdominals. So you don't want to tip forward here. Then you'll start feeling the stretch in the leg that's back, the front of that pelvis. You'll feel that hip flexor stretch a little bit possibly. But to get that more, bring the arms forward and then up. Take your eyes up and then lift a little more up. Look a little bit up, but don't drop your head back. And then hold. Take a deep breath, inhale. If you need to hold on with one hand, you can. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and bring your feet together. All right, we're going to go right back down and onto a sitting position. I recommend you use your sitting pad. This can be a brick or it can be a stack of books, but in this case, we're using a Pilates moon box, and something about that height would be good to relax your knees so that your knees are below your hip bones so we don't have any discomfort sitting. Then get on, rock a little to find your sitting bones and get nice and tall. And we're going to do a roll down seated. I'm going to turn side so you can see, arms in front. And you want to keep your sit bones staying anchored on your pad. Never do you lift your bottom sitting bones off the sitting brick. Now get into a good neutral like you're up against a wall. Lift your front belly. Arms in front, wide collarbone, don't pinch in. We're going to lift from the top of the head and like a little as we're at Christmas here, so candy cane hook up and over. Not up and over, and curve forward like you're coming over a ball for spine stretch. And you reach forward, pull your navel back as you get that stretch, but don't lift those sitting bones. Keep them anchored on your sitting pad or your moon box. Then roll up against your wall, widen the collarbone, and stack it up. Inhale, up and over, curve. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, exhale, roll it up. Now I'm going a little quicker so we have a little bit of a fluidity through here, but you want to still keep your neutral pelvis, keep your abdominals active and your shoulders drawing down so we don't get that hunching in the upper shoulders. Here we go again, rolling forward for that little seated spine stretch. Inhale, exhale, roll it up. Let your head be part of the curve. And one more, inhale, exhale, roll down. Inhale, exhale, roll it up. Now staying in this position, lateral bend stretch. So we take our one arm up, inhale, and check you're not hunching here. Lift from your side waist, and again keeping your sit bones anchored, reach over to a side bend. You want to make sure your head goes with you and doesn't leave it behind or go too far over. Now lift from your bottom waist to come center. Inhale, vertical, up and out, keeping your sitting bones anchored. Inhale, and lift from your bottom waist. We're always working the abdominals here to stretch one side of the body, but use the underside to do the work of lifting you back to center. So focus that in your mind. Inhale, up and out, stretch. Now lift your bottom waist to do the work and come center. Again, inhale, up and out. Feel that nice stretch, long, not going toward the floor, but toward the wall opposite, and lift. And one more, up, nice side over, out, and lift. Now hand to elbow, hand to elbow. Make sure the arms are just below shoulder height, but not resting on your torso. Lift your side waist, find those sit bones, and like you're against your wall, very vertical, rotate from above the waist. So think of your rib cage and everything above it twisting to the right. Look there. And back to center, exhale. Twisting to the other side, looking there, and back to center. Your head and eyes go with you. Twist, inhale. You're growing taller on the inhale. Exhale to center. Now on the twist, think of spiraling upward, like those old-timey barbershop poles spiraling up. And twisting, inhale, and exhale, spiraling upward, inhale, and exhale. Once more each side, inhale, and exhale, and inhale. Last time. Now center, holding. Grab your stick or pole. If you do not have a little dowel or pole, you can use a folded hand-sized towel, folded lengthwise, and hold it taut. That will replace the stick if you need to. Hold it a little wider than shoulder width and bring the stick across from the base of the breastbone. So across from here, not shoulder height, across from the solar plexus, which is base of breastbone. Now keeping your wrist straight. So when you're holding the stick or towel, try not to flex your wrist in either direction. And then reach up, keeping those shoulders down as we practiced earlier, and just get to the straight up position and then back across from solar plexus. The torso stays very elongated into neutral. Inhale, and back to center across from solar plexus. Two more. Inhale, keeping the arms pretty straight here and trying not to lift the shoulder blades upward. Glide the shoulder blades downward. This time reach up and stay. Bend your elbows sideward as you very carefully bring the stick to the top of the back of the head, being careful not to pull the head forward to get it there. So if you can't get it there yet, it can be a little forward of the back of the head, but eventually what happens is we want the forearm to isolate from the upper arm and bring that stick to a little behind the top of the back of the head. Now, without moving forward in your torso at all, you keep that relationship, hands a little behind elbows as you try to stretch straight up, gliding the shoulder blades down the back in opposition to stretch back up. And then smoothly bring it back to down across from solar plexus. And we're calling this rib cage arms to goal post. Inhale, rib cage arms up, goal post. Oops, exhale, lost my stopper. Keep going. Exhale behind the top of the back of the head. And then reach it up, gliding those shoulder blades down and forward to hover across from solar plexus. One more time. Inhale, rib cage arms. Exhale, goal post. Try not to pull that head forward and reach it up. Glide the shoulders down and forward and down. You should have felt that in your shoulders, your upper mid back especially, and we'll be doing a little more of that later on. Okay, now we're going to come off of our sitting pads and move them to the side. We're going to sit sideways on your mat with your knees bent in front of you with the feet about a fist apart, and grab behind your back legs. Grab a little higher, meaning towards your pelvis as opposed to towards your knees. So you get that fleshy part, grab it, pull on that to get you into a good neutral, lifting your low back. If you have to move your feet out a little further, you can. And this is your half roll back. So scoop your low belly, hollow in, and then shoulders, careful they don't pull out of your back. You're really working from your low area first. You scoop into a pelvic curl. So we're rounding out the front body, scooping it, and we're curving the spine in a C curve, rounding from the top of the head to the tailbone. Deepen it a little further back if you can, but be careful you don't start to flatten your back. So keep that scoop, then round forward, get on your sit bones, and unravel to your neutral against your wall. Inhale, hollow scoop, exhale. Inhale, curve, lengthen, find your neutral. One more, inhale, scoop and curve, inhale, and exhale, lift. We're going to tuck and roll on the side and onto your back for the next section. Now we're going to bend our knees, and if you have your ball, please put it between your knees. Squeeze on it ever so slightly, bring your feet right under your knees, a fist apart, and arms alongside for right now. And in your neutral, spine lying down, you do have that tiny, tiny mouse house under the waist. Do not exaggerate it. Make sure your lowest back ribs are on the mat. Your tailbone is lengthening in the direction of your feet. Don't push it down. Lengthen it toward the direction of your feet. Check across your low belly that you feel that saran wrapping across your pelvis. That flattening feeling of your low belly, tightening across. And then feel like your waist is, the skin below your waist is trying to drag a little towards your waist. Like you had a little tattoo back there that's dragging a little towards your waist without moving the bones. So we engage our front abdominals and our back muscles a little bit to support this neutral pelvis. And we're going to keep that pelvis, we're going to start in neutral and then we're going to come back to neutral, but we're going to curl just this lower pelvic area. Upper body stays pretty quiet. So I'm going to move my arms so you can see again. We're going to hollow the low belly to initiate, curl the tailbone off the mat to flatten the waist without bulging the belly. So you have to think of scooping in and under. And then we roll the tailbone toward the feet. Not so far that we push and arch the back though, just to where you have that very, very small space under the waist, but you really can't see it because we have stuff there. So just make sure you don't overshoot that. All right, so here we go. We scoop and hollow and curl, exhale. We roll to neutral, inhale. Scoop and curl, exhale, roll to neutral. This should be a small, smooth, fluid movement in that lower area and just kind of warming up the low abdominals and articulating that lower part of the spine. Now, we want to do a little bridging, but I know for some of us, we're tight in our hamstrings and we might start to cramp there. So you want to be careful that you don't think of your glutes and hamstrings doing the work, even though, yes, they'll kick in. You want to think of your abdominals more. So put your focus on your abdominals. We start with that pelvic curl. See if you can go a couple of inches off the mat. I'm going to move my arms so you can see, and then roll back down. Now, if you've felt some cramping already, you need to focus your abdominals more as you start to initiate. So scoop the low belly first, then move. Keep curving as you scoop more, and then just roll up a few inches if you felt that cramping earlier, and then roll it back down. We've got to get that spine articulating, so we want to be able to do this. So work on just doing as what you can, and eventually we're going to go all the way up, which I'll demonstrate now. You're going to curl and go all the way up to that straight line just for a second, and then roll it back down. And if you find that's cramping, go to that smaller range and you'll gradually build up. But we really do need to work through our spine. Make sure there's nothing under your head except your mat when you do your bridging. So we don't want any lift under there for bridging. Let's do one more. And again, you can just go a few inches. That's okay. And roll it back down. Good job. Okay, now for the next one, we're doing a few ab curls. Like we did earlier, interlace your fingers behind your head, elbows side diagonal. And now your lower half from the waist down does not move at all, stays neutral, belly stays braced with that saran wrapping. And we're only moving this upper chest from about the breastbone or lowest ribs up toward the head. We're only folding the chest forward. So you inhale, nod the chin. You sink your breastbone away from the chin to fold your chest forward, but careful you don't tuck your pelvis or move it. Keep it level, stable, and quiet. And then lower back down with control. Nod, sink, and curl. Exhale, and lower, inhale. We're just doing these small movements. Nod and curl. Just an ever so slight squeeze on the ball, but do not get your glutes over kicking in here. The glutes are pretty soft at this point. Curl and roll it back down. And one more, nod and curl and roll it back down. Now we're going to do a little ab curl with rotation. Nod and fold the chest. Stay, tailbone anchored. Twist to your right, center, left, center, and lower down. All right, good. Now take your hands out from behind. All right, and we're going to grab our pole, and we're going to do some of that rib cage arm stuff we did earlier. Bring your feet under your knees again. Keep your ball there. Keep your neutral spine and pelvis. Tighten your belly, and bring the arms up. Straight arms. Hold that toward the end of your stick, a little wider than shoulder width, and make sure the stick is over the base of the breastbone, the solar plexus. Don't take it over the shoulders directly, just a little forward. Now we're going to do the same thing we did seated. Reach back, but don't touch the floor. Just hover back there. Pause. Check you didn't pop your lower ribs up. Check those back ribs are on the mat, and then bring it back up smoothly. And inhale to reach, keeping your ribs quiet, and exhale up. And let's do that again. Inhale to reach, and exhale up. Now this is called push through, and similar to something we do on the Cadillac. We're going to start here again and bend the elbows sideward. Bring the upper arm to the mat. Anchor it there. Now bring the forearm back. The stick goes behind, and it just hovers ever so slightly above the mat. Check your back ribs down. Check your neutral. Now gliding just above the mat, you're going to try to stretch behind you those ribcage arms. The arms are a little off the mat here, and you keep your collarbone wide and your shoulders down. Then bring it back up to starting position. Wrist straight over the solar plexus. So here we go. Bend, upper arm to the mat, elbows side. Lower arm moves back. Hover up slightly above the mat. Stretch behind and bring it up. So it has a circular feeling. Bend it, inhale. Upper arm goes back. Stretch, hovering, and come up. And bend to the mat. And hands behind. Stretch. And now we're going to reverse it. Reach back to hover. Bend the elbows side. Anchor the elbows right across from the shoulders. Then bring the arm up over the solar plexus and stretch up. See if we can do that again. Reach back. Bend it. Bring the upper arm over and up. One more. Reach back. Bend side with your elbows. Then lower arm and then reach up. One more straight reach back. Hover, check your back ribs, and then back up and place that stick down, roll to your side. Now we're going to take that ball and put it behind us. In the upper back, between the bottoms of the shoulder blades, just a little between the shoulder blades, but toward the bottom part, and then you're going to lay on it in a slanted neutral. So be careful here that you don't smash and tuck and curl your pelvis and get that waist down. No, we want the pelvis in its neutral. So yes, there is a little space under there. Bring your legs together and hands behind the head. And now, keeping the lower half stationary, we're going to arc back over the ball. Let the head fall into your hands. Nod the chin first, and then just slide your lowest ribs toward your hip bones, but don't tuck your pelvis. And see, I stayed on a slant. I'm not trying to come too far forward. I'm actually just coming to basically what looks like a straight line slant. All right? And so we arc back, inhale, nod the chin first, slide the bottom of the ribs down towards your hip bones and bring it to that slanted neutral, basically, and feel the contraction in the front body muscles here. All right, so arc back, inhale, nod, exhale to the slant. Let's do that again. Arc it back, nod and lift and stay, and now we're going to twist to the right without falling off your ball, and back to center, twist, and back to center. Do that again, twist, and back to center, twist, and back to center. Arc back once more, inhale, nod, lift. Now this time reach forward, curl your tailbone under so you get a deep C curve, and if you can, roll up, and if not, roll to your side. Now we're going to move the ball in a different spot, a little bit toward the bottom of the ribs instead of between the shoulder blades. Go a little lower, but not all the way onto your low back or waist, a little above that on the lower rib area. So, but it is lower than it was just a minute ago. Now go back to that slant. I don't want to curl my pelvis, I want it elongated into that diagonal neutral. This time I keep my focus forward, bring the legs together, and make sure that you keep this tight area in the front, always active, that's saran wrapping, and then reach your arms diagonally forward, palms toward each other, shoulders down, and then you feel some work here. Now keep that position and just take the eyes up a little toward the ceiling, but don't move your head. Then bring the arms up a little more. We should feel a little more work here. Hold for a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, and bring the arms forward again. And then grab on. Give yourself a little lift just for a moment. Then go back to that position again, lengthening in and up in the front, but no tuck of the pelvis. Focus diagonally forward and reach the arms again. Take the eyes up a little, then arms up a little. This time we're going to add. One elbow pulls diagonally back as you turn your upper body only to look toward that elbow. Elbow tries to reach toward the mat. Hold and bring it back to center. Try not to move your pelvis. Other side, pull the elbow, pull it diagonally back, and look in that direction. A lot of deep work here. And back, and we'll do one more each side. Pull the elbow, twist, and back to center, and pull the elbow, twist, and back to center. Grab on. Now you can curl your pelvis and either roll to your side or roll up. Remove your ball. Okay, now we're going to go back down on our back into neutral, knees and feet together. Go into your neutral spine and pelvis and tighten your belly and open arms side to a T shape, palms up. Lift your heels with balls of the feet on the mat, knees and feet together. Let's do our little side to side knee sways or spine twist supine. You're going to tip your pelvis and legs as a unit to the right diagonal. Don't touch the floor. And then keep your opposite shoulder anchored down. Make sure you don't overarch your low back. And then squeeze abdominals to bring it center. Over to the other side. Keep your opposite shoulder anchored on the mat. And your knees together, feet together, and squeeze to initiate with your abdominals to bring it back. So it's all about the abdominals doing the work. Inhale, over to the first side. Squeeze abdominals. Exhale to center. And over to the other side. Inhale, and squeeze to center. Now you can continue 4 more times in that position, or for more challenge, bring the legs to tabletop, 90-90, legs together, and same thing, but keep the range of motion small. Tip to the diagonal, opposite shoulder down, inhale, squeeze abdominals. If this puts too much strain on your hip flexors, put those toes back down. Inhale, or if it bothers your low back, put your toes back down. Exhale. And again, inhale, keep your legs together, opposite shoulder down, and squeeze those abdominals to do that work. Exhale. And last time, inhale. And exhale, center, stay in tabletop, arms alongside again. And we're going to do a few toe dips here. You're going to dip your right toe, inhale. Lift it up, exhale, focusing those low abdominals bracing and no change in your trunk. Only the leg moving, nothing else. So keep those back ribs down, no arching there. And once more each side, inhale. and exhale. This is a focus on abdominals. Inhale and exhale, grab behind the legs, hug in and rock a little side to side. Good job. Okay. Now we're going to do the 100. And I'm going to do the basic version, feet down, ball between knees. If you feel like you'd rather go to the the next level of difficulty to tabletop, you can go ahead and do that. But this is a basic class, so we're going to do the basic version. All right, so we're going to keep our neutral pelvis. We're going to be going into that ab curl we practiced and use the arms for that pumping and breathing. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. At no time should we see a bobbing or wobbling of the torso or the pelvis. You want to, when you get into position, you want to maintain it and only pump the arms and breathe. All right, here we go. Inhale, nod, sink the chest to curl, look forward, reach the arms and pump. Tailbone anchored. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Now I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3. 2 more sets. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lower the chest and arms. Roll the head side to side. Remove your ball to the side. We're into single leg stretch. So we're going to be doing the one leg stretch from tabletop while maintaining ab curl. If your neck gets tired, put the head down, lift again when you're ready. Reach the right leg to tabletop, left to join, legs together, tailbone anchored. Hands to the knees, inhale, nod and ab curl, look forward, exhale, stretch the left hands to the right knee and shin, simultaneously switch. No pelvic movement, switch, just the legs, looking at your feet, and switch, feet a little above eye level, exhale, 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 keeping that lower part right in the pelvic area very quiet. Looking towards your legs, never at the ceiling. 2 more after this. Here we go. 1, 2, lower hug in, roll your head a little side to side. Place the feet down one at a time. Alrighty. All right, now we're going to roll to your side and go into hand and knee position, 4-point kneel or quadruped. Now, if you have wrist issues, here's what you do. You can take a bath towel, fold it a couple of times lengthwise like this and roll it. I rubber banded mine. And then you can put the heels of your hands on the roll part with the fingers touching the mat. Make sure your hand's not going to slip off, so get it in a position. That may take pressure off your wrist. Or if you have a yoga mat that you're on, you can roll one end of the yoga mat a little bit and then put your hand on the forward part of the roll, the heel of the hand on the forward part of the roll, fingers on the mat, and that may also take a little pressure off the wrist. So that's a couple of options for you. In either case, your hands are under the armpit and right shoulder width apart. Your knees are under the crease of your hip socket, about a fist apart with your shins and top feet bonded to the mat. You want a neutral spine, so we're not rounding at this point. We don't want to tuck the pelvis, so lengthen your tailbone to the wall opposite. Now here's the important part here. You want to lift your breastbone away from the mat so you're not sinking into your wrist. And then you want to use that upper mid back, which we warmed up a lot with our stick work. And so think of that chest widening and lifting away from the mat. And think of there are little connection from your armpit to your little finger here. A nice strong a lift from that area. Now, look diagonally forward of your hands. If you look straight down, the weight of your head puts too much pressure there. So look a little forward, and so that way you're in better alignment. Now, this right here is work, so let's sit back now for a little rest position. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, come back up and find that position again. And tighten your low belly, but keep that neutral flat back. Lift the breastbone, look diagonally forward. Now we're going to round the spine to cat stretch toward the ceiling. Exhale, let the head come down. Both ends of the body, head and tailbone, go away from each other. Find your neutral. Always abdominals are active in both directions. Scoop and curl, exhale, and then you're lengthening the belly, but it's working to support your neutral to come back. Now, tuck your toes under. This is your 4-point kneel hover. You're going to lift your knees an inch. You may have to build up to this. Hold for 10, 9, 8. If you only can do 1 second, that's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, untuck toes, C-curve into that cat, and sit back to rest position again. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, come back to that position. Last one here. We're going to do our what I call flying table. Find your neutral again. Look diagonally forward. Now, keeping your torso quiet, carefully slide your opposite arm and leg. So let's do right arm, left leg. Slide them away from each other carefully without wobbling, and lift into a straight line in line with your torso. Hold for 5, breathing 4, 3, 2, and you might have to build up to this. And slowly return without wobbling. Other side, left arm, right leg, and hold. 5, breathing 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly return. Round again and sit back again for another breath here. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to grab our hand weights. I recommend you use anywhere from 1 pound to 3 pounds. 3 pounds being the heaviest. 2 to 3 pounds is about right for most people. But if you have wrist issues, then you might want to start with 1 pounders. Very important when you're using weights. Number 1, do not break the wrist. Or side to side break the wrist. So keeping the wrist in line with your forearm is very important in all directions, okay? So when you're holding your weight, and I happen to have the egg-shaped ones, but if it's just a dumbbell, whatever, make sure you don't do this, right? Keep it in line, or this, keep it in line, or this. Keep it really straight on. And that will help relieve any stress on the wrist, and also you want to do that even when you're moving. Keep that as your focus, all right? Now, we're going to start in a lying down series. So you're going to get your ball as well to put between your knees to just keep those legs active a little bit. And then tuck and roll on your side and onto your back. Now we're going to start with the hug a tree that we call it in Pilates. So find your neutral spine and pelvis and tighten your belly, because always the belly is active. It's never relaxed from the time we start to when we finish this sequence. The whole class. Now, we're going to start with the arms up over the solar plexus. Weights can be close together here. Draw your back shoulders into the mat. Make sure your lowest back ribs are on the mat so you're not overarching. But yes, you have your tiny, tiny space under the waist, but you're not exaggerating it. Tighten your low belly. Keep your tailbone lengthening in the direction of your feet. Now, you're never going to touch the floor with your arms or your weights. Check your wrist position as we work. Open to a side hover just above the floor, check your wrist, and then back up over solar plexus. Notice my weights are not directly above my shoulders. They're a little forward of the shoulders above that base of the breastbone. That's something to be aware of. Open, inhale, hug toward the ceiling, exhale. When you open, use control. Don't just let the weights do the work. Then resist the weights as you come back up. So you are very aware. You have a very, very, very slight soft elbow, but fairly straight arm, basically, but don't lock the elbow. And you want to be aware that you're keeping your shoulder blades on the mat, not lifting up in that lower, behind that area, and also that your wrist stays aligned. You want to breathe. Focus your abdominals as well. A lot to think about. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug a tree. So kind of an oval tree, not a round tree in this case. And let's do 2 more of these. Inhale, open. We're working against gravity here as we come up. Exhale. And 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now turn your palms to face toward your legs. Separate the arms about shoulder width. Again, starting a little forward of the shoulders. This is the scissoring. You're going to take one arm, let's take our right arm back and the left arm forward to the hip line. We never touch the floor. They split and arrive at the same time. Inhale. They come back up and arrive at the same time. Exhale. Now, if you're feeling too much strain, it might mean your weights are too heavy for you for this, in which case you can put them down and do this without the weights. Inhale, and then add the weights when you're ready. And exhale. And inhale. Now, if you're finding it's too much strain on your shoulder, try turning the palms toward each other and do the same thing. That may take some of that pressure off of the front shoulder. And do that again. And we'll do once more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to do a little bit of a circle, but again, don't touch the floor and only go in a range that feels comfortable for you, where you don't feel strain. Turn the palms to face the legs, shoulder width apart. Just do an overhead reach, but don't touch the floor. I'm going not too far back here. Open to that side that we were in a minute ago, and then hug tree up. So it's kind of like a half circle, basically. Turn the palms to face toward your legs, reach back, circle to the side, and back up. Rotate and reach back. Keep your back ribs on the mat, open to the side, hovering, and back up. Reverse that. Open side, reach back, keeping your back ribs down, and come up. Turn the palms toward each other and open side. As you reach back, palms are toward the ceiling. Then over the chest, over the solar plexus, rotate palms toward each other. One more. Open side. Reach back, palms and armpits toward the ceiling. Take it up. Pause there. Now, we're going to do, the last one is both weights together or one weight in both hands. And we're going to do an overhead reach. So you're going to reach back, inhale, just to hover, and then straight up over solar plexus, exhale. So you can either use one weight, and if that feels too light, you can take both weights and reach back with both. Inhale, but keep your elbows pretty straight, just ever so slightly soft. Inhale, keep your back ribs on the mat. We don't want to be popping those ribs. And lower belly is braced. Inhale, neutral spine and pelvis, maintained, exhale. One more, inhale, and exhale. Good, bring it in and down. Now, if that's bothering your wrists too much, you can always do these initially without the weights, just to get that range of motion going. All right, and if you're not using weights, you can do it a little teeny bit quicker, but with control, and do more repetitions to build up that range of motion for yourself before you start adding the weights. Okay, next we're going to do a standing sequence of hand weights. Put your ball to the side, and then you're going to stand. I'm going to stand a little behind here so you can see me better instead of on top of my mat. But you're going to be standing in your Pilates V. Even though you can't see my feet, the heels, I'll get up here for a second. Your heels are together, toes on the diagonal, zip up your inner legs, okay? And we're going to start with our chest expansion. So you're going to stand very tall. Arms are right alongside you with the hands directly next to your outside thighs or legs, and your palms facing back. Widen the collarbone and make sure that you're engaging those abdominals and lifting the muscles of the torso upward to support your spine. We're going to press straight down and back without moving the torso. I don't want to pitch forward around the shoulders. I want to maintain my posture as I go back, hold a second, and come back alongside. Exhale, press, hold it, and alongside. Press and hold, alongside. Exhale, hold it, alongside. Two more. Exhale, and down, and last one, exhale. Now we're going to add some looks of the head only with the chest expansion. So you press back again and hold. Look to your right. Keep the press back as you look to the left. Bring the head center and arms alongside. Press back and hold. Reverse it. Look to the left. Look to the right, head center and arms down. Do that again. Press back and hold. Look to the right, look to the left, center and down. Once more, press back and hold. Look to the left, look to the right, center and down. Tuck your elbows at your waist. Now, it's like you're holding a platter, so you want the hand directly across from the elbow with the elbow tucked at your waist. Keep the wide collarbone. Don't let that pinch in. Palms toward the ceiling here with a straight wrist. Don't let it flex. Now, keeping that, you're going to open the lower arm side as you squeeze a little bit between your shoulder blades to activate the rhomboids, and then back forward to shoulder width. Exhale, hold it a second in the squeeze, and forward. Make sure you're not curling your arm up like this. Keep it at elbow height here, and forward. And exhale, squeeze and hold. Now, same thing, but palms toward each other. Open, squeezing and close. Open and close. Now we're adding on. Open, go out to the side, pull in like you're pushing through mud, and forward. Open, squeeze between the shoulder blades, open out, pull the elbows to the waist, and close. One more. Open, reach out, pull it in and down. Take a small bend, stretch, and circle the shoulders. We're going to do the salute. Bring the weights across from the temples of the forehead. Take a diagonal upward press and bend back to the temples. Exhale, press. Bend to the temples. Exhale, maintaining your neutral posture standing. Like you're against a wall. You want to make sure you don't lean back when you push diagonally up, and that you keep your head alignment. We don't want to drop the head down or take it too high. Let's do two more. Salute, press, and last one. Bring it in and down for a moment, smoothly. Circle the shoulders a couple of times. Take a small bend. Zip the legs as you stretch. Last one. Curl in, and now elbows at shoulder height, like they're on a table at shoulder height. Bicep curl. You open to a soft elbow. Curl toward the cheekbones, but don't touch the shoulders. Inhale. Maintain posture. It's very easy to lean back here. So when you open, be careful you don't lean back. So keep like you're up against a wall. And it's also easy to drop your elbows. So keep the elbows at shoulder height the whole time. Two more, or let's do four more. Inhale. I think we can do four more. And close. That's one. Inhale. Exhale. Curl. That's two. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's bring it in and down. Take a small bend, stretch, and circle the shoulders. Let's put those weights down. Now we're going to do a little bit of leg work. We're coming into the home stretch here. So we can use either a TheraBand, or if you have trouble holding a band in your hand for a lengthy period of time, you can use medium, about a medium tension tubing with the handles. And the handles might make it a little bit easier for you. I'm going to use the TheraBand, but just know you have that option of the tubing. I'm going to use a little folded towel for my head to be on. It's not under my neck, it's under the back of the head, just to give me a little support there. Then go into that neutral spine and pelvis. Now, even though we're working the lower body, the focus is still on your abdominals. In fact, it's mainly on your abdominals. So you want to maintain neutral pelvis throughout, meaning no tuck. And bracing across the front low belly where the pelvis is, like a big thick piece of saran wrap or a tight wide belt cinching up across. So you want that flattening, bracing feeling, like a trampoline that's very taut. But your low back ribs staying on the mat. In that neutral, again, is what you're focusing on. Now, we're going to work with the band. So you want a medium weight band as well, not super light, not super heavy, just that medium type of tension. Hook the center of the band, and I've got a fairly lengthy band, but if it's shorter, you wouldn't choke up as much as I am. You could hold it lower down. I'm going to choke up a little more because I have a long band, and pull the elbows to the mat to anchor. I like the elbows down, so you're making sure you're keeping the collarbone wide and not letting the band pull your back shoulders up. So bring it, get the tension that you want when your elbows are down. Now, once you have your leg up in position, draw the tailbone down, which might move your leg forward a little bit. That's okay, because I want you to be a neutral pelvis. Don't try to do a stretch where you tuck like this. No, we're not, even when we do stretch, I won't have you do that. So no, I want the tailbone down, which means your leg goes where it has to when your tailbone is down, so that you're in that neutral level pelvis. The two front pelvic bones, pubic bone in the same plane, parallel to the ceiling. All right, now the other leg is ever so slightly bent, meaning it's not way in close to you like this. Your foot is out a little bit, but it is bent so that your bottom of your foot is on the mat. From this starting position, actually I want to take an overhand grip on the band for this first part, meaning instead of grabbing from underneath like this, come from above to take your hand grip and then bring the elbows to the mat so your wrist can be a little more straight here. Check you don't break that wrist too much here. So it is hard, you have to think about it because you do have that tension there. Now, keeping the foot flexed and your neutral pelvis, you're going to bring the leg down either all the way to the mat or slightly above it with a straight leg and back up to only the spot where you do not tuck. If you feel your tailbones start to curl, you went too far. We're going to do it at a quicker pace. Keep your legs straight, keep your neutral pelvis. Press down, exhale, up, inhale, and press and lift. And exhale, inhale, press, and it's a smooth, even though it's quicker, it's a smooth, fluid movement. Imagine you're underwater or in some thick honey and you're pressing through that thickness. And press, control it up. We never let the band do the work for us, only we work with the band, controlling. And last one. Now bend your knee a little bit so you have more of a tabletop position in your leg, but with that same tension. Now you're keeping about this height on a diagonal as you press forward to a straight leg on a diagonal, and then bend just to the tabletop. Don't come too close or you'll tuck. No pelvic tuck there, okay? So we press and just bend to the tabletop, don't tuck. Press and bend with control, but stretch it and bend. If you feel like you need more tension, you can just choke up on your band a little bit more, or your tubing. You can bring your, if you have handles, you can put an extra knot in the tubing to make it shorter, or you can just move your handles to make it shorter. All right, one more here, and then stay and bring it up. Now we're going to do a little circular wave motion. You're going to bend the knee to tabletop. You're going to go down, hovering above the floor to stretch it out, and then up. Bend, press down and out, and up. Keep it controlled so you don't let the band pop off your foot. Make sure the band's over the middle of your foot primarily, not over just the toes, or it will pop off. So safety is always important. Now reverse it. You go down first, bend to the tabletop, and stretch to where you can keep the tailbone down. Down, bend, and stretch. Down, bend, and stretch. Down, bend, and stretch. One more, down, bend, and stretch. Okay, we're going to let the hands relax a little to rub them out. Then take your band and slip the other foot in. Then pull the elbows to the mat. Find the tension that's appropriate. I'm doing an underhand grip again. Draw the tailbone down. That's where your foot goes. Bottom leg is just slightly bent. And now you're going to press all the way down and straight up. We're not bending at all yet. Press down, keeping your pelvis neutral. No tuck, no wobble. Brace across the low belly. Exhale, press. Inhale, up. I'm focusing the breath with the movement, so try to do that. Exhale. Keeping your back shoulder blades plugged in. Your back pelvis stable. Your lowest back ribs on the mat. Last one. And now we bend to that little 90-90 tabletop, knee over the crease of your hip. Now press diagonally forward and just bend to the tabletop. Press to straight leg, bend to tabletop. Exhale to press, inhale to bend. Two more. Now stay straight, bring it up a little. Now we're going to do that combination into that circular movement. We're going to take the legs straight down, hover, bend into the tabletop, and extend to the ceiling. Down, bend, extend. Down, bend, extend. Exhale, inhale, extend. And one more. Now we reverse it. Bend first, press along, almost hovering just above the mat, and then up to where you can keep that tailbone down, no tuck. Bend to tabletop, press down and out, and up. Now let's smooth it out, and it's like that little wave. And up. Bend, stretch, and up. Inhale, exhale, and up. Inhale, exhale, and up. Inhale, exhale, and up. Bend, stretch, and one more. Bend, stretch, and up. Now, we're going to put both feet in the band together parallel. Do that same underhand grip. Pull the elbows to the mat, bend to tabletop, and then adjust if you need to on your tension. We're going to do both legs stretching on a slight forward diagonal, maintaining neutral spine and pelvis, and bend to just the tabletop, no tuck. So don't come in too close again or you'll tuck. Just to 90-90. So we exhale, press diagonal forward, bend it in. Exhale, press, and bend. Now the focus here is on your low abdominals as you're stretching the legs and bending the legs. So make that your focus. Working the hip area, yes. Working the legs a little bit, yes. But it's really a focus on abdominals. Last one, and come to bend and take your feet to a little V. Heels together, toes diagonal. Let your arms go out a little more if you need to. And now, same thing in the turnout. You're going to press to that little diagonal V and bend the knees just a little bit open, shoulder width. Press and bend. Keep those heels together. Press. Make sure the band is safely on the middle of the foot and not going to pop off. And tighten the belly every single time you bend and stretch. Exhale. Focus that abdominal area, flattening like that saran wrapping. And exhale. Two more. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. Bend in and release your tension. Remove your band. Rub your hands out as you place the feet down. Give it a little lotion on the hands. Yeah, because we are using those hands quite a bit to support holding the tension there. All right, now I do want to do a little bit more of this. Just a little bit more. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to do what in Pilates we call the leg circle, but we're going to do it with the band. So we're going to hook the band over the one foot again, middle of the foot. This time you're not going to choke up very much. Just hold it a little lower down. So you just have a little bit of tension on your band, not a lot. Just enough to give you a little support for the leg. Now bottom leg ideally all the way straight. And again, find your neutral pelvis, all right? And we're gonna take a small circle like you're drawing a circle on the ceiling, trying not to wobble the pelvis side to side or tuck at all. Keep your pubic bone stretching away from your navel and your tailbone stretching away from your waist. But careful the back ribs stay on the mat. Here we go. Across the body first, inhale, circle, exhale, up, pause, one. Inhale, circle, exhale, pause at the top, two. No pelvic movement as you circle that leg, three. Inhale, exhale, four. Now keep the range smaller if you have hip issues, or for anybody who just had a hip replacement, you would keep this pretty small. Not a big range yet. And up. Inhale, exhale, reverse direction. Inhale, exhale, up. Getting that slight little pause at the top of each circle. Checking we're keeping that pelvis quiet by using those abdominals, bracing across. Fluid and smooth movement is what we work on in Pilates. And last two. And last one. Now we do the other leg, so bring the other leg in first. So you can carefully replace, switching out, set up the other side, check your neutral pelvis, and now we start across the body. Inhale, exhale, keeping the pelvis quiet. Inhale, exhale, pause at the top. Keeping the leg as straight as you can, but if you need to bend it an itty bitty bit at first, that's okay, but we want to eventually try to get that full stretch of the leg. Two more. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. Let's reverse direction. Inhale, exhale. Check your pause at each time. When you pause, it's also a chance to check your positioning in your mind's eye. Am I keeping my neutral pelvis? Are my back ribs easy on the mat? Are my shoulders relaxed down and not hunching or tensing too much here? We want to keep the tension out of the neck and shoulders as much as possible as we're working the leg in the socket there. Last one, and pause this one at the top, and then release that tension. Remove your band for a moment and rub your hands out again just to release any tension there. Now we'll do some ball squeezes. So we're going to take our ball and put it between the knees and go back to your neutral with the feet just a fist or so apart, maybe even a little closer for this exercise. Now again, even though we're using the inner legs to squeeze the ball, we want to be careful we don't tuck. So make sure your pelvis does not move. It stays in that level, neutral, we call it pelvic position here, with that bracing across the low belly. Squeeze inward on the ball, hold for 5, 4, just holding that squeeze, 2, 1, and release. Squeeze it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Squeeze it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now 10 little presses, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the last squeeze for 5. Keep holding. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Release and remove the ball. We're going to do some little stretches here. We're going to cross the right over the left, the right ankle over the left knee. Turn that right knee out. Thread through the middle with the one hand and the outside with the other to grab and pull towards you as you press that crossed thigh open with your elbow a little bit. And your pelvis does curl a little bit here, yes, but don't rock to the sides. Keep it centered. And yes, your tailbone curls a little off the mat. And we're stretching the hip, the back side of this hip of the crossed leg. And hold and breathe. Now, if you have trouble doing this, you can put the foot on a wall and cross it if you can't grab. If you can't reach to grab because you're so tight there, you might want to put your foot on a wall and then just, cross your leg. And if you feel the stretch there, that's fine. So if you're having trouble pulling towards you, try that. And now we're going to do the other side. So let's switch and thread through the other back of the leg and pull it towards you. Hold and breathe. You're always breathing those nice, deep, full breaths in through the nose, out through parted lips, almost like the air is coming from the back of your throat, or back, actually more from the back of your ears, like it's coming out gills, if you have fish gills here, coming out that way, as opposed to through your nostrils when you exhale. So more through the little side gills here, if you imagined you had them. Couple of breaths here again. One more. Breathing is real important. Okay, now let's do a little stretching, another little stretch here before we stand to do some stretching. So take that band one more time, and we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So hook the band over the foot, choke up a bit for this one, pull, and I'm doing an overhand grip, and pull the elbows to the mat. Draw the tailbone down even for stretching, and then find your stretch position. Bottom leg can be slightly bent or straight, and hold for your hamstring stretch. Deep inhale and exhale a few times. Now take a small bend of the knee, keeping the foot on the ceiling. Stretch it, and then turn the top foot inward so the bottom of your foot faces in toward your center body, but keep the legs straight. You'll feel that stretch on the outside of the lower leg, and then keep that as the leg goes a little bit across, but don't tip your pelvis when the leg comes across. Take another breath there. Still getting a stretch up the outside leg. We're doing these a little quicker, but you can take more time if you want. Pause the video and hold these longer. Nice to hold them up to 60 seconds, so I'm not going to do 60 seconds, but that would be ideal. Back to straight up foot to normal, and then open to the side diagonal without tipping the pelvis. Feel the inner leg stretching for a few breaths. Always important to stretch, not just do the contraction type work, but always including range of motion and stretching. It's very important. So if you run out of time, I get it, but if you can take the time to stretch a little longer, that's very helpful. Helps to make you feel better and prevents injuries, helps you with a lot of different things, and helps bring balance to the musculature, so we both stretch and strengthen. All right, back to straight up, and let's slip the other foot in. Start with your straight on hamstring stretch, tailbone lengthening toward the leg that's straight on the mat, and bracing those low abdominals to support that pelvic neutral, and stretching the back of that leg. With the band, we also feel the calf muscle stretching, which is nice. Deep breath here. Keeping that leg straight, just rotate the bottom of your foot inward towards your center body to feel that stretch up the outside of the lower leg primarily. Take a breath there. And then keeping the foot turned inward, leg also a little bit across the body, just to get a little more stretch there as well. So I feel it a little more up in here when I take it across. I feel it more in the lower area when I keep it straight up. All right, then bring it back up, foot to normal, and open to that side diagonal, but try not to tip your pelvis. Control it with your band, and feel the inner leg stretching. Keep your pelvis on the mat in neutral as much as possible here. Abdominals are active still, but shoulders as much as you can, keeping them down so we don't get that tension or hunching in there. One more breath as you hold this. And bring it back up smoothly. Take one more breath here. And bend both knees gently. Release your tension. Carefully remove your band. Let's rub those hands out again to release any tension there. Hug your back right leg to your chest. It's okay to tuck here and then slide the other leg out in opposition to feel that nice stretch for the low back primarily, but a little bit of stretch through the front pelvic hip flexor area. Switch that. And then we're going to grab our ball and do a little release work. So bend both knees, put the feet flat, grab your ball. Lift your hips up just enough to get the ball under the sacrum. That's that bony part below the waist and slightly above the tailbone. The ball will smash in both directions, but it is not primarily on your waist. It's primarily on the lower back pelvic area, but not so low it feels like it's going to pop out from underneath you. Use your hands alongside on the mat to help balance you in your neutral on a slant. So yes, I'm in neutral, but on a slight slant, but I'm bracing across the low belly to support me so that I don't wobble too much on my ball. But yes, you might feel some small movements, but you do want to work on stability. Stability meaning no movement. Now slowly lift your right leg, maintaining stability in the pelvis. And then back down and lift your left leg slowly without wobbling if you can help it. So focus on smooth, controlled movements. On the next lift of the right leg, keep it there in tabletop and very carefully lift your leg to join so both legs are in tabletop. And like we did earlier, we're going to do some toe dips. You dip the right, inhale, lift to the legs together. Dip the left, inhale, lift to the legs together. Dip the right, and lift, dip the left, and lift and stay. Slowly put the right foot down and then the left foot to follow. Take another breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Take your hands on the ball. Lift your hips just enough to push the ball towards your feet out from under. Pull one hand, pulls it to the side, and then roll down through your back bone by bone, slowly, smoothly, and unravel down. You'll feel that nice release in your low back. Then put both feet on top of your ball with the legs together. And then keep that neutral pelvis, back ribs on the mat, and make your feet light on your ball. Glide the legs out and the ball rolls onto your lower leg. and stretch. Without moving or tucking here through the pelvis, tighten your low belly to drag the feet in by bending the knees first, delaying the feet, and then bring it in. Push away as you inhale, lengthening. Keep the feet where they are as you start the knees, and then drag it in. Let's do just one more. Stretch it out, inhale, and bring it in. You'll feel those low abdominals deep underneath there working. Take your ball out to the side and hug those knees in again. Round and curl your tailbone and rock a little side to side. Place the feet down one at a time. Roll to your side. Come to sit. Now we're going to finish off with a standing stretch. So come to a standing position. And we're going to just do basically a quad stretch. So you can hold on with one hand to something if you would like to balance. Take the foot in the hand and then bring the knees close together. And then keeping your pelvis where it is in neutral, just press the foot into the hand. You don't want to tip, right? So you want to keep your upright torso and knee toward the floor, but push back a little with the foot pressing into the hand. So you're stretching that front quadricep area or thigh area. Hold for a couple of breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And you can hold this a little longer if you would like, but we're going to now switch to the other side. Again, you can hold on, foot in hand, knees together, and then you're going to press the foot into the hand to get that quad stretch, but don't tip forward, right? Upright torso. Inhale and exhale several times. All right, we're going to finish with a roll down. You're going to stand with your feet parallel, and you're going to stand tall. Notice how you feel. Nod the chin and roll down bone by bone, like you're peeling off your wall that you're up against. When you get to about the low back, start bending your knees and release all the way over. Let your head hang. Shake your head a little to make sure there's no tension in the neck. Tighten your low belly as you start to roll back up. Wait until you get past the lumbar low back area and then straighten the legs to finish rolling up. Let's do that one more time. You start to roll down. When you get to about the low back, you bend your knees to finish rolling down. Use your low belly pulling in to start rolling up. And when you get back to almost all the way, you straighten the knees and come back up. Now grab your sitting pads and come to your seated neutral. Cross your legs in front. And then we'll do a little lateral bend. Stretch up and out. Reach through the side body. And lift. And other side, up and out. And lift. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.